Hello there, Wildcats. Today we are going to talk about rotation. By definition, rotation is a transformation which turns a figure about a fixed point. Most of the time, the fixed point is at the center. But on this video, I'm going to model how are you going to rotate an image or a pre-image. The center of rotation is at 0, 0, or the origin, and a given point. When working in the coordinate plane, the center of rotation should be stated. Okay, so it must be given. And make sure that you will not assume that the origin is the center of rotation. Your rays drawn from the center of rotation to a point, and its image from the angle called the angle of rotation. A rotation is called a rigid transformation or isometry because the image is the same. The image has the same size still compared to the pre-image and the image, and then the shape is also the same compared to the pre-image and the image. So there are certain rules that we have to follow on rotation. Okay, so I'm going to provide you the rule. So the followings are the rule for our rotation. Sorry about that. There. So rotation rule. Okay. So your rotation can be done through the rotation can be counterclockwise. And of course clockwise. And then we have to write at the end what will happen to the values of x and y to the point once we rotate it to the pre-image. So for so we have counterclockwise, clockwise, and the rule. All right, first one, if you're rotating the point or the object around the origin 90 degrees, so 90 degrees about the origin, this is O, not 0, is the same process when you are rotating the image negative 270 degrees around the origin. Now the negative there, it doesn't mean that it's the value or it's the angle measure, but the negative there symbolizes as the movement is clockwise, right? So the rule there is that the point xy, okay, will result to, you have to switch the position of your y and x, and your y will be negative. Okay, I just want to give emphasis on giving the value as negative. The negative here indicates that you have to get the opposite of the value of y. So let us say the value of y here is positive, then your y will become negative. And if your y is negative, then your value of y after the rotation will be positive. All right. Next rotation is rotation around the origin 180 degrees. Again, this is O, about the origin. And this is the same as rotation about the origin negative 180 degrees. Now your x and y on the point will still be the same on its position. However, we have to get the opposite. So the same position, but we have to get the opposite, which is the negative. So again, the negative there indicates you have to get the opposite value. And then the last rule that we have here is we have a rotation about the origin 270 degrees about the origin, and R is the same rule as to negative 90 degrees about the origin. That's again clockwise. So your x and y, okay, the position of your x and y will flip. It will become yx. However, get the opposite of x, so I'll put there negative. So your x will become the opposite. Okay, so this rule only applies if, okay, this rule only applies if the center of rotation, the center of rotation is at 0, 0, or at the origin. All right, so we are going to use this all throughout. Okay, even if, yeah, I give emphasis on the center of rotation must be at 0, 0. And the question there is, what if the center of rotation is a given point, not at 0, 0? So I'm going to teach you how are we going to manipulate and use these rules, okay, even if the center of rotation is not 0, 0. All right, so let's proceed with the first example. First example here we have, there you go. So we have to rotate the given image. What is the rotation is at the origin, 90 degrees. Okay, that is A, B, C, D. So based from that, it's positive 90 degrees. Therefore, it's counterclockwise. Okay, so we have to rotate this one counterclockwise. So the rotation, okay, your rotation rule for 90 degrees, rotation rule for 90 degrees about the origin is that your x and y will become, okay, 90 degrees. You have to switch your x and y, and then your y will become negative. Okay, so these are the rule that we have to follow. So we need to have your A, B, C, and D points. So let's identify your points there. So A is at 1, 2, 3. That's 3. 3, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's at 3, 5. Our B, okay, our B is located at 1, 7. And our C is located at negative 2, 4. That's 4. And then your D is located at 2, negative 1. 2 and negative 1. Now we are going to apply the given rule, okay, so that we will have A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. So let's apply the rule. It says there I have to flip, okay, my x and y. My x here is all the numbers at the first, and then the y is the second number. So I'm going to flip them. So this is 3, 5, so I have to flip that. It will become 5, 3. And it says there that I have to get the opposite of my y, because 5 is positive, so this will become negative. Next is we have 7, 1. I'll to flip that. And 7 is positive on the original, so on the pre-image, so I'll put there negative 7. Okay, and then here we have 4, negative 2, and then I have to get the opposite of positive 4, that's negative 4. Now flip, I have negative 1 and then 2. 2 will now be my new y, and then take a look at your y here. That will be our new x, and it's negative, so I said there you have to get the opposite. It will become positive 1, 2. So we have now your A prime, B prime, C prime, and your D prime. So let's get started. And again, we just applied the rule. We switch places. Your x will now become the new y, and your y is now become your new x, and it's the opposite. So I'm going to graph these points. So negative 5, 3, negative 5, 1, 2, 3. This is now my A prime. B prime will be, this is A prime. B prime is negative 7, 5, 6, 7, positive 1. This is B prime. B prime. And then we have C prime is negative 4, negative 2. This is now my C prime. And then my D prime is 1, 2. Is it? No. Sorry. 1, 2. It's here. This is my D prime. So from there, I can actually draw a and connect these points. So from here, we have that. And then we also have A prime to B prime, B prime to C prime. And then we also have your C prime to D prime. And as you can see, our image has been rotated about the origins clockwise 90 degrees. You see, that is how we apply the rules on rotation. Again, it's very important that you know and memorize and apply and master the rules on rotation. Next is we have this. Rotate the triangle counterclockwise about the origin. So 90 degrees. Again, we have to rotate 90 degrees about the origin. So we have the x and y will change. We have negative y and x. This is the rule that we'll be using. First is identify the points on your A, your B, and C. So A is at 1, 6, 1, 6, and B is located at 3, 1. And our C is located at 8, 2. Is that right? 1, 2, right. 8, 2. So we are going to apply those, we apply the rule so that we will have a an A prime, B prime, and then C prime. So switch 6, 1, your y here will become your new x, so that is 6, and then your x will become your new y, and get the opposite of 6, that is negative. And then we have the new x will be the opposite of the y. We have negative 1, and then we have the same will be your x is 3, sorry, that's 3. And then we have just 3. And then we also have your c that will become negative 2 and 8. Again, I get the opposite of the value of y because this is positive. Now from there we can point your A prime, B prime, and C prime, then connect them to make the triangle. So negative 6, positive 1. This is now your A prime. Your B prime is at negative 1, positive 3. Negative 1, positive 3. That's your B prime. And last one, it's your C prime, negative 2, positive 8. Negative 2, positive 8. So let's say this one. That is your C prime. And then I'm going to connect those. Sorry about that. I'm going to connect them. This is now your triangle rotated 90 degrees. All right, so that is how you apply your rules. So if you are going to take a look at from your A, this is A, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it forms a 90-degree here. So you see the rotation there. The same with B. Anywhere else, you see the B, it forms a 90-degree. Even C, if you draw C connecting the new C, it's still 90 degrees. So you know the rotation there. All right. Now our next example is that we are going to rotate 180 degrees about a given or a certain point, which is 2, 1 on this problem, counterclockwise. The thing is, how are we going to use those rules on this type of problem, because the rotation is not at the center? Can we still use the rule? Yes, we can still use the rule, and there's a lot of ways to do that, to rotate a given image or a given pre-image. But this is one of the ways that I think that I found a lot easier. Okay, the first is what are we going to do is to point your given point of rotation, which is 2, 1, that is 1, 2, and 1. So this is now your point of rotation here. Okay, so from the point of rotation, we have to make a new, we're going to make a new Cartesian coordinate plane. So that means I'm going to draw a line that passes through the point 2, 1, so that this is my new Cartesian coordinate plane. Okay, so you see I have now the point 2, 1 is now my new 0, 0. Okay, so you see we have a new origin, which is your 2, 1. Now it will become your 0, 0, so that we can still apply your rules on this case. All right, so what I'm going to do is identify my A, B, and C. Maybe I can name this. So my A here would be that is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 5. So I am naming now the point. Okay, I am now naming the point based on my new Cartesian plane. Okay, I want you to focus on the blue first. That is my new Cartesian plane. Next is I have 1, 1, 2, 3. So this is 1, negative 3. So let's say this is my B. And then my C is at 1, 2, negative 1. So my C is 2, negative 1. So we'll be using them to rotate that 180 degrees. All right. So the rule for rotation 180 degrees about the origin is that your X and Y will stay the same on its position, but make sure that you have to get the opposite value of your X and Y. That's why I put the negative there. Again, the negative, the emphasis of the negative there is you have to get the opposite value of it. Okay, so because my A is 1, 5, my B is 1, negative 3. Yeah, this is negative 3. And then I have C, which is 2, negative 1. These points are relative to the new Cartesian plane that I created, the blue. Okay, the blue color there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to graph that using green color. So my A prime now applying, so my X will stay the same, the position stays the same, but I'll get the opposite of that because both are positive. It will become negative. My B will be 1 is positive, that will become negative. because 3 is negative, that will become positive 3. And my C prime will be 2 will still be negative, and negative 1 will become positive 1. Now I have the point A prime, B prime, C prime. So I'm going to graph them, okay, relative and with respect to the blue Cartesian plane there. All right, so negative 1, negative 5, so negative 1. This is negative 1. Again, with respect to the blue color here, so negative 1, okay, so that's negative 1, then negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is my my A prime. Okay, my B prime is negative 1, positive 3, that's negative 1, 1, 2, 3. This is my B prime. And my C prime will be negative 2, negative 1, 2, and then it will be positive 1. So this is my C prime. And then I'm going to connect them. So connect B prime to C prime. Sorry, it's not, it must be a segment. So from B prime to C prime, and then from B prime to A prime, and then we also have C prime to A prime. Okay, now because we already have this item here, I want to delete the new. Okay, I have to delete this one. I have to erase my new to remove this. All right, so I have to remove that. You see, I removed the blue Cartesian plane, and then it will be okay. Remove also the points that I put there, because those are relative and with respect to the blue Cartesian plane that I draw a while ago. Now we are done rotating the points. We have A prime, B prime, C prime. So you can now get the points that we have with respect now to the original Cartesian plane that we have here. So you see the Cartesian plane, the black one, the x in the horizontal and the y, it's the vertical. So your A here, which is A is, this is A, this is B, and this is C. So your A has 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 3, positive 6. And your B will be 3, negative 1, 2. 3, negative 2. And then our C is 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4, 0. And then the new point on your A prime, B prime, and your C prime. So you can just identify them. A prime, B prime, and your C prime would be, A prime would be 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, negative 4. And then B prime would be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1, positive 4. And then your C prime is at 0, 1, 2. 0, 2. So this is the rotated image 180 degrees around the point 2, 1. Okay, you see guys, even if the point of rotation, okay, the center of rotation is not at 0, 0, we can still use our rules in there. All right, so that is how we use the rules when the point of rotation or the center of rotation is at 0, 0, And also we can apply that rule when the center of rotation is a given point, not 0, 0. So thank you guys and have a good day. Bye-bye.